So anyway, like this is like what happened to me. I think like a year ago or whatever. Is when I was a cashier and all that, and it was a seasonal job. So of course it didn't last for long and all that. I remember when I was actually working. I remember that I was the only person, one of the only people in sight working, right? And definitely the only person on my shift, like the day shift working. I was the only person that was actually going around and putting items back on the shelf. The store, no, here's a backstory. Here's a little bit more information, right? The store is gigantic. It's a very, very big store. And so there's a lot of freaking items, just like thousands of items. And so I needed help, you know, locating one item that I had in my hand, apparently. And I went up to a group of guys. They were just standing around in a circle. They were standing around in a circle around this cart. Um, and I was wondering, hey, why isn't anybody, right, from the day shift working? Because like we were there for like a while, like we were there for a while. We were working a lot, and maybe they were just standing around taking a break and all that stuff, whatever. But then I realized that when I went up to the guys and I asked, where does this belong? One guy spoke up, and one guy's like, oh, I don't have time for this, your baby stuff, and all this stuff. And I'm looking like, who is he talking to? And he's like, I'm talking to you. And I'm like, me? And so, like, that's where the fight, that's where the little argument began. Not physical fight, but argument, right? And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to sit here, I'm going to defend myself because I'm not going to let this guy, like, talk to me like that. Because when I go home by the end of the day, and I let a person talk to me like that, it doesn't make me feel good. Like, at least for me, it doesn't make me feel good. And so I said something back to him. And so I said something back to him, and I'm like, don't talk to me that way. Because we're all trying to freaking work, talking about, and he's like, oh, baby, saying all this stuff. Like, he's the one that's crying like a baby, right? He's the one that's crying like a baby. Like, he acts stupid. He was acting stupid. And then he ended up saying something about oh, you don't know what I'll do to you or something like that. So some type of crap, right? And like that's definitely a threat. It's like that's definitely a threat. I'm like, you threaten me, you threaten me. You don't do that. You don't say that. And mind you, there's a whole bunch of men standing around the car. I'm also standing around the car too, like talking to this guy, and it's like nobody said anything. And at this point, like I didn't feel that safe. Nobody said anything, and it's like this other guy jumps in. This other guy jumps in, and then he's like, "Oh, he didn't threaten you. No, he didn't. He didn't threaten you. Just ignore him. Don't say anything back to him." And I'm like, so now it kind of feels like I'm being boxed in because it's like you got these people standing there looking, staring like they looking at a TV. You got another guy who jumped in who's basically like, what I'm saying is a lie, basically calling me a liar. You know what I mean? Just saying I'm lying. Um, Saying that I should ignore him, saying that I shouldn't say anything back. Like I'm the person that's like starting the whole bunch of mess and all this stuff. Like I'm the person that's pushing mess on, and I'm not. Um, and then he comes to me, and then he says, no, not comes to me, because he's standing right next to me. The guy that jumped in. The guy that jumped in, he said that, oh, the reason why he's acting like this is because he has to be back to work at 12 a.m. And right now it was 6 a.m. He would barely get any sleep. And it's like, guess what? I had to go through the same thing. I had to go through the same thing. And I had to do it like multiple times. And I do it because I want money, and I do it because I want to get paid. Like, I didn't say that to him, but like, this is what everybody's doing. And it's like, if you can't actually handle that, you're supposed to go to the managers and say, hey, look, I need to take a day off because I don't feel good. I feel sick. That's what he's supposed to do. He's not supposed to be throwing a fit, to me, like, because I just see that as like it's cowardice. Like for me, like it's straight up cowardice. You don't do that. Um. So anyway, that's what the other guy that jumped in said. Let's just call the other guy that jumped in Bob, and let's just call the guy that's having a pissy attitude Steve, right? So Bob is like trying to calm me down and trying to shut me up. He's like, don't say anything, don't say anything. No, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna defend myself. As I don't want to go home feeling sick because I was quiet. Because I don't feel good if I don't stand up for myself. Whatever. You know that. You guys know what I'm saying. So I go to two coworkers. I go to one coworker. I said, like, this guy is over there. He's having an argument with me. He said something. He made a threat to me. And she didn't say anything. I go to another coworker. He told me that I shouldn't say anything back and that I should ignore him. Right? And I don't know what to do because at this point, like, I'm contemplating going to the manager. And, like, every time I'm, like, speaking, going to the manager to, like, that one guy, he's a black guy. He's at a night shift or whatever. He was like, no, don't do it. When I went home, right, I asked my dad what to do. He's like, he told me not to go, and he told me not to do it either. And so I'm like, here I am. I have like multiple people telling me not to go and report this idiot. That's what he is. He's an idiot. He was acting like a female dog. That's what he was doing. He's an idiot. Like telling me not to go and report him. And even when he made a threat to me, it's like, even when he threatened me, it's like I didn't feel safe or comfortable in the workplace anymore, saying something like, oh, I don't know what I'll do to you. It's like I'm talking to my dad, and not even my dad even cares about that. And then my dad's like, well, he didn't do anything yet. And it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to wait for him to do something to me. So anyway, like, the days passed, right? Because everybody was advising me not to say anything. Everybody was advising me not to say anything to the managers. And it's like, now that a year has passed, right? I'm thinking back on it. And I'm like, the only reason why people advise me not to tell the managers is because the managers would see a problem with it. The managers would see a problem with it, and so the managers would get the guy, possibly fired. And it's like, it's not like he doesn't deserve to be fired, because you can't go around making threats to people, right? But it's like people were actually trying to protect the guy that was acting an idiot. They weren't actually, trying to protect me because they didn't care about my safety. No, they didn't. They didn't care about my safety, because if you cared about your safety, you wouldn't allow a person to be in a threatening workplace. And I went online and I read that, the reason why people don't actually want to, the reason why coworkers don't like a person being reported is because, like, they themselves can be reported too. And it's like, it all has to do with, like, a popularity type of thing. Well, if I don't want myself reported, so why would I want this guy reported? It doesn't matter if he made a threat. It doesn't matter if he's doing this. It doesn't matter if he's doing that. And so that's the way I see it. Like, And I just kind of regret that, like, not turning him into the manager. He needed to get some type of punishment. He needed to get something, but he just got away with it because I listened to everybody else. Everybody else didn't have my body. Everybody else didn't know what he would actually do. And I'm just supposed to basically sit around and wait for something. That's stupid to me. And my eyes are getting kind of worried because it's like I felt like justice was not served. I mean, like, the very fact that I spoke back to him, that's today, it makes me feel better because I spoke back to him. Other people was telling me not to speak back. You see what I mean? It's kind of weird. I don't frick. I want to go back in time. I want to tell myself to report the bastard. Report him. Report him, because people like that don't deserve to be around me in the first place.